What do we know about the Enlightenment Era and the Industrial Revolution?
Well, the Enlightenment Era was a period in the late 18th century when scientific and philosophical ideas were becoming more popular. The Industrial Revolution was an era of rapid industrialization and growth that began in the late 18th century.
What do they have to do with the theories of liberalism and realism?
Well, liberalism is the idea that society should be based on individual rights and freedom, while realism is the idea that state should be more ultimate authority. During the Enlightenment Era and the Industrial Revolution, there was a shift in thinking that favored liberalism over realism. The ideas of Enlightenment and the technological advances of the Industrial Revolution made it easier for people to challenge traditional authority.
Interesting. So the events of the 18th and 19th century played a huge role in shaping the liberal ideology, with the emphasis on reason, individualism, and the pursuit of knowledge. Now, the Industrial Revolution represented this as a transition from the handicraft production to modern production, increasing economic output and improved living standards. In the case of realism, they are interconnected with the emphasis on reason, observation, and pursuit of an accurate understanding of the world.
So both of these periods led to new ideas about politics and society, which eventually led to the creation of two opposing sides of World War I and World War II and the Cold War.
Yes, the World Wars and the Cold War II are the significant events that alter the course of history. World War I and II took place between 1914 and 1945. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary caused World War I, whereas the German Nazi invasion of Poland started World War II. On the other hand, the Cold War was a conflict that nearly resulted in nuclear exchange between the Soviet Union and the Western democracies, which is United States. It started because of the two superpowers' mutual distrust and concern over one of them acquiring excessive power.
During World War I, II, and the Cold War, the conventional liberal international order that promoted individual liberties were replaced by a militaristic and authoritarian order that placed a great emphasis on power in international relations. This change increased conflict and competitiveness on the global scale and highlighted the necessity for states to balance their power and interest in order to preserve peace and stability.
So the World Wars were a result of realism in international relations, while the Cold War was a clash between the ideologies of communism and capitalism, with both liberalism and realism playing a major role.
Just by looking at these two events from the perspective of realism, realist and structural realist theories had a significant influence on both World Wars I and II and the Cold War. According to Lawson 2015, realism and its classical form operates in the certain assumption about human nature and a drive to power. Again, Lawson 2015 further differentiated. Structural realists, however, argue that it is the structure of the international system in which itself tells the mediates of the dynamics of power. Realism and structural realism provided a framework for comprehending the process of world politics during these wars. It helped to clarify the causes of conflict and the ways in which the force could be employed for tactical ends. It also helped to explain why the states would create alliances and why some nations were more successful than others in accomplishing their objectives.
On the other hand, realism and structural realism had an enormous impact on the Enlightenment Era and the Industrial Revolution. This theory provided a framework for the understanding of the dynamics of economics competition between the states, as well as the importance of power and politics. They also help to explain why countries should invest in technology and infrastructure to gain an advantage in the international system.
The connection between liberalism and commercial liberalism is also evident in the events of the 20th century. For example, World War I was largely a conflict between liberal and commercial liberal nations, as nations sought to protect their own economic and political interests. Similarly, the Cold War was a conflict between the liberal West and the commercial liberal East, as the Soviet Union and its allies sought to spread the economic and political ideologies around the world.
The Enlightenment Era and the Industrial Revolution also show a relationship between liberalism and commercial liberalism. Many nations adopted the concepts of individual freedom and rights during the time, as well as the promotion of free trade economy. As these beliefs played a significant role in the hostilities of World War I, World War II, and the Cold War, this connection would continue on to have an impact well into the 20th century.
Looking at these events and the relationship towards IR theories and sub-theories, we can profoundly say that there were organizations established to promote peace, uphold human rights, fair trade, and transparency throughout the world. As a result of events that caused mass destruction and had a greater impact on the development of global politics and economics within the global arena. One such organization is the International Committee of the Red Cross.
The International Committee of the Red Cross, or the ICRC, is an international humanitarian organization dedicated to protecting and assisting individuals affected by armed conflicts and other situations of violence. Founded in 1863, it works to prevent and improve human suffering, promote international humanitarian law, and provide medical, physiological, and legal assistance to those in need.
Oh yes, the ICRC's work in Papua New Guinea is connected to both liberalism and institutionalism.
Yes, liberalism emphasizes on the importance of individual rights and freedoms, such as the right to life, liberty, and security. The ICRC works to protect individuals affected by armed conflicts and other situations of violence, which is in line with the values of liberalism.
And according to Pavels and Goldstein 2017, institutionalism is an approach to IR and global governance that focuses on the role of international institutions in promoting peace and stability. The ICRC's activities in Papua New Guinea serve to strengthen the role of international institutions in the region and can be seen as a form of institutionalism.
Thank you everyone for our lively discussion, and thank you for joining us. If you have any comments, please do provide it in our comment section. Make sure to like and subscribe and turn on your post notification.